Hey folks, it's Dave here with the messy face. I just noticed I just had some chicken. Well, me and the dog just had some chicken. And anytime I can get him to eat anything that's good, he's just being weird when he eats, and it's not good in his stage of life when he doesn't eat. So I've been trying to feed him whenever I can. So I just had a little bit of chicken here, and we shared it. He even got to lick the plate. That's just fine by me. Anyway, tonight we're going to be taking a look at some game-winning drive. Nothing crazy here. We're just going to do some setting up of a score sheet to get it ready to roll, if you will, ready to rumble. And I'm going to show you how we do that. I've done other videos on that before, but I'm setting up my last few games here for my Boston Patriots 1970 season, and I'm going to show you how I do that here as I set this up. I won't be doing any gameplay tonight, so it's going to be kind of boring, more informative than entertaining tonight. But anyway, here we go. So let me go to my overhead shot, and I'm going to try to really kind of zoom in. So here's the score sheet here. Now, I just kind of pumped this out in a draw program where I just kind of typed in the team names and the logos and the date and stuff. You don't have to do that. I like to dress it up a little bit when I have the chance. So what we're looking to do here is we're looking to fill this in, and we're looking to fill this in. And I've done it a couple of times here, but I'm going to show you how to do it again here today. As Barbara comes by. Hi, Barbara, here. This is going to be a boring one, but this kind of shows you what goes into setting up a score sheet here, if you will. One of the things I really like about game-winning drive from Downey Games is I love the score sheet, the team sheets here, if you will. You get 4 teams on a page, okay, and so you only have to print out 7 or 8 pages depending on how many teams that you have here. So in this one here, we're going to do, now you can cut these up if you want into 4s. And I've done that in the past, but for this one here, I'm just going to leave them like this. We're just going to find the teams. So we need Boston, and we need the Jets. So I'm going to slide this underneath. I'm going to show you how I'm looking to set this up. And I'm trying to get it nice and tight so everybody can see it. Even the people in the back can see it. All right, so we're going to start with the visiting team, which is the Boston Patriots. So what we're looking for here is there's 2 things that are going to happen in the first roll. We're looking either, are you going to score points? Or you're not going to score points. And that roll is going to be between 11 and 66. So for Boston, as you can see here, they start off 11 to 23. So over here, 11 to 23 is our starting point. We're going to modify that with the Jets. All righty? The Jets defense here. So, that's still in view. Okay. So the Jets defense, the scoring is +0. There's no change to the scoring. So that's nice and easy. When there's a 0, everything's nice and easy, Yes, I've done this before. But I won't have time to play tonight, so I'm setting up. So I figure I'd jump on and off because I know a couple people are on. Steve Towers on tonight with some Fury football. I want to watch that myself. So I figured I'd jump on here tonight while I set up a couple of these, And Joe comes by. Hi, Joe. Good to see you. Are you a new Joe or just new? It's always good to have a new Joe, but if you're not new, that's okay too, Joe. Thanks for coming by. All right, so this 11 to 23 is not going to change because there's no change here with the defense. So we're going to put 11 to 23 on points scored. 11 to 23, and I'll make that as legible as I can. So that means that the turnover, 24 to 66, doesn't change either, because if this changes, then this changes. Because, again, you're looking for 11 to 66, and that's what we have right here. So it's going to be 24 to 66 for turnovers. Obviously, you want this to be as high as you can get it, okay? Now, if we look at the Colts, you'll see Boston was 2-12, so they're 11 to 23. If we take a look at the Colts, they were 11 and 2. They're 11 to 31. So they go from 23 to 31 for their initial starting point. So that means more chances to score. Okay, so if you're going to roll the dice, if it's going to be 23 or less, well, you'd rather have 31 or less. Okay, is what you would rather have, is how it is. And, Joe just started playing Apple Hockey. That's fantastic. I love Apple Hockey. Any questions, let me know. I've done a lot of videos on it. And what seasons are you playing? That's what I'd like to know as Jeff comes by. And obviously, Barbara comes by as well here as I try to set up the score sheet. All right, so that's part 1. Okay, the second part of this setup is we're going to look at what this points scored breakdown is going to be. Is it going to be a touchdown run, a field goal, a TD pass, or a field goal? Okay, and so what we're going to do now is we're going to look here. So for New England, they're starting numbers are 11 to 25 for a touchdown run. The Jets are going to subtract 1 from that. Okay, the TD run, we subtract 1. So our 11 to 25 becomes 11 to 24. So 11 to 24. And that means the field goal, instead of 26 to 42, is 25 to 42. Okay? So you're only affecting the first number here. The second number, this 42 is not going to change. The only numbers that are going to change are the end of the TD run and the beginning of the field goal. So this 11 to 42, well, that will always be the same. The only sliding scale you have is this 25 here and the 26 to make sure we got 11 to 42. Now, touchdown passes. For the TD pass, the Jets say we're going to add 1. Okay? So the Jets say we're going to add 1. Let me pull that down so we don't get confused with New Orleans. So for New England, a TD pass is 43 to 53. Well, we're going to go 43 to 54. So 43 to 54. And that means the field goal is what? 55 to 66. 55 to 66. So now, when we roll the dice, if we score, our second roll has been determined now to figure out what that score is going to be. Let's do the same for turnovers. Okay? So for turnovers, the fumble is 11 to 14. The Jets say on a lost fumble, we're going to subtract 1. So that's better for New England. So that 11 to 14 is 11 to 13. So 11 to 13. And that means the punt is going to be 14 to 34. So again, these two here are combined, and then these two here are combined, just like at the top, okay? So the TD run to the first field goal is one section, and then the TD pass to the field goal is the second section. Same over here. You're only going to change a couple of numbers. Now, let's check interceptions. We're going to add 1 to interception. So this 35 to 46 is now 35 to 51. So we're going to go 35 to 51. The punt is now 52 to 65. 52 to 65. And the missed field goal is a straight up 66. So unlike APA, 66 is not good in this game. You really want low numbers in this game for a game-winning drive. Okay, so we have our scoring set up over here. And again, you always have to have one number. So no matter what happens, if you have a crazy game where you're adding 4 or subtracting 4, you still have to have at least one roll available in each category. So in other words, you couldn't have no fumble. Okay, if this is 11 to 14 and you subtract 4 and that wipes it out, no, you still have to have an 11. And same up here with the field goal. It's always got to be one number to roll is what it is. And Jeff says that Apple Hockey is a great game. Yes, it is. And Joe had a couple questions. Yeah, I can probably answer those for you, Joe, here while I kind of chip away at my setup here. All right, so now the bottom of this is really, most of it's off to New England, except for the fourth down. So for the Jets, if we look at the fourth down, it's a +1. So we're going to add that over here to New England to say +1. So on fourth down, if they go for it, and there's a whole fourth down procedure, for New England, you would add 1. So this 11 to 23 would be 11 to 24 on a fourth down try for New England. All right, so now the rest of New England, there's no punt, so they can't return a punt. There's no kick return. They can't return a kick. There's no interception. There's no fumble. And the PAT, for some reason, they didn't have a PAT. So I looked it up. I looked up their percentage, and I tried to get it as close as I could to another team. And so I just put 11 to 63 for a point after. Okay, so that's what I got for I say New England's Boston. Okay. All right, so now let's go on the other side. And now here are the Jets. All right. And now we're going to bring this over here. We're going to try to set this up so everybody can see it, even those in the back. And okay, so let's set up the Jets now. So New York scoring, they're starting 11 to 25. We check New England. And because they're bad, we're adding 2. So that means they're going to get 2 more chances to score. So 11 to 25 becomes 11 to 31. So we got 11 to 31. And that means the turnover, we also add 2. So that's going to be 32 to 66. So 32 to 66. So now we have our numbers as far as scoring and turnovers go for the Jets. For the TD run, 11 to 23, and New England says, "Woo, we're going to add 3 because Boston's defense is so bad. We're going to add 3 to this TD run." So that 11 to 23 becomes 24, 25, 26. So that TD run is 11 to 26. And now the field goal now becomes 31 to 35. For a TD pass, Boston says add 1. So our TD pass is going to be 36 to 55. 36. 55. And the field goal now is going to be 56 to 66. And again, as you see, we have a run from 11 to 66 for our dice roll. So let's take a look at the turnover now. So our fumble is 11 to 13. We're going to add 1. So that's actually good for the Boston defense. So our fumble is going to be 11 to 14. Okay. And the punt now becomes 15 to 32. And now for interception, we're subtracting 3. So that means your defense didn't get a lot of interceptions. So the interception here is 33 to 42. So if we subtract 3, that will be what? 41, 36, 35. So 33 to 35, if my math is correct. So 33 to 35. That'll make the punt 36 to 61. And the missed field goal will remain 62 to 66. So now we have the Jets turnover from 11 to 66. Now let's take a look at the Jets for their returns and all their other fun stuff here. So they don't return a punt. They don't return a kick. For fourth down, we check New England, and the New England fourth down is Boston's is +6. Oh, boy. Wow. So if they went for it on fourth down, this would be 11 to 41. So the fourth down play for the Jets would be pretty good against New England. Interception. Oh, they do have an interception possibility. So it's 11 to 14. 11 to 14. And what that 15 means is if you were to roll the last number here, the 14, you would roll again and you would need 15 or less to cash that in. So 11, 12, 13 would be a straight up interception pick 6. If you roll the 14, you need to roll again and then get 15 or less is how these brackets work. And that you'll see them all over the place here in the Downey games. You'll see those brackets like that. The PAT is straight up 11 to 66. What I do, I don't like automatic PAT, so what I'll do is if I roll a 66, I'll roll again, and if I get another 66, it's no good. It's kind of what I do on that. And a fumble return is negligent. So that score sheet is all set up, ready to go. So as you can see here, we have the Boston team all set and the Jets team all set, and we're ready to go. All right, I'll do another one here as I get them set up. So now we have the Bills, and they're right next to each other, so that should make life a little bit easier for me. So Boston is the away team here, so we have Buffalo here right next to it. So let's see if I can get them on the screen here, and we'll show them off together. Okay, so this is going to be the New England side over here. Just trying to get everything on the screen. Or maybe I'll just do it like this. Okay. And I'll just slide that up. Okay, so New England, again, 11 to 23 is our start. The Buffalo defense, they're 3-10. So they're going to add 3. So it's going to be 11 to 26. So you get 24, 25, 26. So 11 to 26. And now for the turnover, we have 31 to 36. So this is a better chance to score for New England because they're playing a team that's just as bad as them. Now the TD run, we're going to add 2, so that 11 to 25 becomes 11 to 31 on the run, so 11 to 31. And that means it's going to be 32 to 42 on the field goal. And for TD pass is no change, so that'll stay the same, 43 to 53 and 54 to 66. So we have our 11 to 66 now for our score. Turnovers. So a fumble is going to be no change. Nice and easy. So 11 to 14 and 15 to 34. Interception is -2. So instead of 35 to 46, that'll be 35 to 44. And that'll make our punt 45 to 65. 45 to 65. And a missed field goal will be a straight up 66. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, you couldn't see that there. And now again for Boston, there's no punt, kick, interception, or fumble. So no punt, no kick, no interception, no fumble. The PAT, again, we kind of estimated at 11 to 63. And fourth down over here for the Buffalo team is a +4. You can't see that behind me over here, but it's actually a +4. So +4. Okay, so that is the Boston side of things. And now let's take a look at You already ate. I don't want to hear it. He's whining over here. He just had all my chicken. You ate half my dinner. I don't want to hear it. All right, so let's take a look at Buffalo now. So they're 11 to 22. The scoring we're going to add to. So it's going to be 11 to 24 on scoring. So 11 to 24. And we bump this up. So that'll be a 25 to 66 on turnovers. Now, we're going to take a look at the TD run. And for New England, the TD run, we're adding 3. For Boston, I should say. So the TD run is going to be 11 to 26. 11 to 26. And then the field goal is now 31 to 33. Again, keep in mind that we're using base 6. So when you add 3, if you go 25, 26, it's not 27. It's going to be 25, 26, 31. So we're doing a base 6. And it takes a little while to get used to that when playing some of these games here, if you will. All right, and I'm kind of off camera here, so I'm sorry about that as I try to do the score sheets here. All right, so now for passing, we're going to add 1 to the TD pass. So it's going to be 34 to 61. So we're going to go 34 to 61, and that would mean the field goal would be 62 to 66. Okay. And now let's slide this up now and go to the turnover part of the score sheet. And on the turnover part of the score sheet, fumble is +1, so it's going to be 11 to 22. And that'll be 23 to 35. And then on interceptions, we're -3. So that'll be 36 to 43. So 36 to 43. And that'll be 44 to 64 for the punt. And the missed field goal is 65 to 66. And now we'll slide down to the very bottom of it here. Oh, Ray, this is how you set up the game. And once you do this, and then you start rolling dice, is what it is. But you do have to do some setup to figure out what the dice rolls are, because each team will modify the other team's scoring chances and what the score chance will be. All right, so again, there's no punt return. The kick, they will get a kick return, so it's going to be an 11 or 12. And I put a 16 over here. So again, a straight up 11 is a touchdown. A 12, if you roll a 12, then you got to roll again and get 16 or less. Interception, 11 to 21. Wow, so they should probably return some interceptions for touchdowns here with a 42. A PAT is 11 to 65 with a 42. So again, if you were to roll 11 to 64, you're good. A 65, you roll again, you need 42 or less. Fumble return is none. And New England over here on the fourth down again is +6. And so there we go. So that score sheet is all done. And that's how you set up score sheets here. So we did a couple of score sheets here. We did the Boston Jets game, and then we did the Boston Buffalo game. So I'm all set to roll. So once they get going, I'm all set to send the dice flying. Now I get 3 more games I'm going to do offline, so I can just kind of get those done and not bore everybody to death. And then I'll have all the last 5 games of the season ready to roll, and maybe I'll roll those tomorrow so I can round that season out. I'm not going to get to them today, but I'll have those 5 games ready to go. And then we'll wrap up that project there and see what I want to do for the next one. Now that my schedule is toned down a little bit. So anyway, but that is that. TL Cooper comes by. Thanks for coming by. And Joe says, I noticed on the team roster some of the players are not there. Yeah, if you're talking about the Apple Hockey, Joe, which I think you are, Apple Hockey, yeah, you do not get everyone in Apple Hockey. That's the one thing about it. You get most of it. You get most of it. But if there was, if there's a guy that only played a game or two, probably not going to be there. It depends who it is. I think for Chicago, there was a '60s season for Chicago, and they had I want to say it was Gilles Meloche. He played one game, and they had him. They had him on APA. So once in a while you do. Once in a while you'll get just about everybody, but you don't get everybody. If you want to get everybody, Hockey Bones cards everyone, so you'll get the guys that played one game. And sometimes that's kind of fun to play a guy that played one game, especially a goalie or something like that. But yeah, APA hockey and even APA football doesn't have everybody. They have a lot of the guys. They just don't have everyone. And so I forget what the cutoff is for that, but yeah, they don't. But anyway, all right, I'm Dave. And yeah, that's how you set up some game-winning drive football for your score sheet. So now I get those 2 games ready to roll, and they roll out in 10 minutes, depending how long you want to take to roll dice and record the stuff. But it's a fast game. It's always been one of my favorite games. Probably because it's one of my first games. Sometimes you fall in love with a game because you played it first, and it just kind of always sits with you. Kind of like, a movie or a record or a band or something like that. It kind of sticks with you. So, but anyway. All righty. You guys have a good time. Hopefully everybody's feeling better. I know I'm still dripping from the nose, trying to get over this thing here. I was supposed to go to Connecticut tomorrow. I almost come and saw Ray and Mike tomorrow. They asked me to go to Connecticut, but I had already committed to working here in the morning, so I won't be taking a ride to Connecticut tomorrow for an all-day event. Oh, my gosh. What are they thinking? I got 3 games in New Hampshire Sunday. If I didn't have those, I might have swapped some things around to get to Connecticut tomorrow. But anyway, I'm Dave from Studio B. Just had some chicken with the dog, setting up some game-winning drive. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye.